Hello folks, you're very welcome to episode 2 of our Colossta TV series. I'm joined by two students who just did the Leaving Cert here in the Colossta, Cian O'Mahony and Dean Keating. You're very welcome, lads.
Thanks very much, sir.
And thanks a million for agreeing to come in for a chat. So I suppose the quick summary of it is the two of you are going on to third level.
Yeah.
Cian studying physiotherapy and Dean studying arts degree, first in Irish and history, and then going on to the noble profession of teaching after that. So look, I suppose lads, we'll try to keep it brief because I know the last interview people said it was fantastic, but it was just a bit long. So if we start at kind of maybe the transition year stage, you both did transition year, did you?
I did, yeah.
You did. And Dean, in fifth year then, what option subjects did you select, and why did you select them, do you think?
The subjects I picked history, ag science, biology and construction.
Right.
And I kind of knew it a while. I obviously just wanted to do history because I had great interest
Loved
from
it.
junior, so loved it.
Yeah.
Biology, I said I'd give it a go. It seemed interesting.
Right.
It became difficult. It was a difficult subject, but it was grand. I done ag science then as well because I was from a farming background.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be a bit easier, and that actually mixed a bit with the biology as well.
Yeah.
And as for construction, I just had a deep interest in it, and I wanted to make a project, and I wanted to make a model of a cottage. So I always had this kind of planned out.
Very good.
So just picked
And
that then.
did you end up making?
I did. I made up with
Very good, very
attached
good.
cottage. Yeah.
And is it one that exists somewhere, or did
It
you
was
just make
based
it
off
up?
the house at home.
All right. Okay.
And
It's
then
attached at home.
No, it's not. It's not
All
still
right.
attached. No.
Okay.
It's done up a bit, but
Right.
just based off it was, let's say, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Before the
Oh,
slates were
lovely.
put on. So.
Good man. All right. So we'll come on to the kind of your fifth and sixth year there in a minute, but we might say, Cian, what senior cycles option subjects did you pick?
Yeah, I picked construction, biology, accounting, and design, communication, and graphics.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. And like again, that's a bit of a range. Like the same with you, Dean. You had your science, your history, the different fields. Was there any particular reasons why you picked any of them subjects, or?
For construction studies, it was mainly for the hand-on aspect of,
Yeah.
say, using tools, and I kind of have a interest in
Yeah.
hands-on approach. Biology was then, say, for the physiotherapy aspect.
Yeah. So you were planning ahead, like you
I
were.
was planning ahead
Very
from,
good. Very good.
from TY.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously, your fifth and sixth year was a really strange fifth and sixth year. Hopefully we won't see it again as things get back to normal. All the teams are out back playing now, and all the extracurricular activities are back, which is fantastic. And unfortunate for you that you missed them, I suppose, but or to an extent in the last couple of years. But how would you describe? I suppose back to you, Dean. How would you describe your fifth and sixth year experience? The kind of combo of being here for the bit of fifth year, and then home for the end of fifth year, and then back out in sixth year, and then home for a bit in sixth year, and then back in. It must have been pretty tough last year when you've the Leaving Cert on the horizon, and you're a bit of uncertainty that was there.
It was like, let's say, for fifth year, it was new to us. So this whole thing was new to everyone. The pandemic and whatever.
Yeah.
We hit in March,
Yeah,
but you see, we only thought it would be at first. It was only for 2 weeks.
yeah. Same as that.
So
We all did. Yeah.
we weren't expecting a great little holiday off,
Yeah.
But then, that was the end of fifth year. Then little do we know.
Yeah.
So then we're at home, and then online. Then was a big transition because like most of us, I wasn't really used to it. I never heard the likes of this online. None of us did.
Yeah,
It's all new to
yeah.
us. Online classes, trying to get in. Internet issues were mostly okay for myself, I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
It was
Yeah.
key. But in terms, it was just difficult, and especially when it came to sixth year, then that's when the panic kind of came on, because
Yeah.
you kind of need to be able to talk to people, like especially like teachers, and especially just your own classmates. Like you want to see them.
Yeah, of course.
Like you're always having the crack in school. That's like coming to school. The best part I found about coming to school is meeting people having the crack.
Oh, I think like from working in education for years, I think the social development is massively important, and I think you did not get a kind of the normal run of it, like but unfortunately, look, that's the way it went for you. But say when you came back, then how did you find kind of the last semester? Like, did you have it in your head, say, with the predicted grades or the accredited grades? Did you sat most of the exams? Did you? You sat a few of them.
I said yeah.
Yeah.
I said Irish and history, the two main ones,
Yeah. Okay.
and then I left the rest into God.
Right. to the big man above.
The big
yeah.
man.
Right. And say the Irish in history. They're your two favourite
two
subjects.
favourites.
So that's why you wanted
I
to.
just wanted to do it because I said, look, I put in enough work in them because I
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah,
So I said, what am I sitting
yeah, of
on my
course.
own for?
And
know?
did you find then that, say, for the last month or so, or 2 months, like, when you knew you were going to credit grades with the rest, were you were probably maybe consciously or subconsciously concentrating on just them two, were you? Or did you still have to finish out the rest? Like,
You see, it was kind of, I knew, I was expecting that I get on good with them two subjects either way.
yeah,
But it was like, let's say, situations that I wasn't very good at maths. That was
Okay.
a serious knockdown subject for me.
yeah,
I did struggle with it,
yeah,
and I was worried about that because I had to get a pass
right, okay.
in it,
Yeah,
or else I wouldn't be able to go to college or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was a worry, and I said, will I win sitters? But then the danger is if I did, then when I end up failing, then that's no go.
yeah.
So I'd left it to God, and luckily enough I passed it, so I was fine.
Yeah,
The other subjects I was fairly confident enough with them
that you do
because I
okay,
knew
like,
kind of from the 3 assessments we done
yeah, yeah.
that I was
Where you were falling roughly.
yeah, falling roughly, and I was relatively over the bar. you
Very
know.
good, very good.
So,
And Keane, then yourself, the last, the 5th and 6th year, what's your memories of it?
It was very unusual. I found myself near the end of 6th year.
Yeah,
I found myself kind of drifting away from
yeah,
the secondary school, kind of
yeah.
sitting back and
Yeah, I could absolutely see that happening with a lot of
Yeah.
students, and I've no doubt that if I had been a student, I'd have done the same.
Yeah.
Like, because it was like when you're in the normal run of things, and you're going from term to term to term in school, and you're talking about deadlines of projects, and you're always kind of focused on it. But then when you're here and you're at home, and then you're here and you're at home, it must have been incredibly difficult to keep kind of, and then you've the back of your mind that you've this big exam then
Big
in
exam,
the end of it, like.
yeah.
But so how did you find the remote learning side of things?
it was very tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, very tough. Now it was okay. Some classes were easier to listen to. instead
yeah,
of Some of them. It kind of gave us an insight into what the world was changing to.
Yeah, yeah.
Say in college now it's the same. So
yeah.
a couple of online classes, a couple
Oh, is
of
there?
practical,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
So but it was a big learning curve
Yeah.
for our 5th and 6th year experience.
Oh God, it sure was.
Yeah.
And say, so the two of you would say that you definitely prefer to be in the classroom. didn't you?
Oh, much.
100%.
much
Yeah,
preferred.
Yeah, I don't think I've met a student or a teacher that wouldn't say that. Like, I mean, it just nothing beats it, And Keane, then say, so you took an unusual approach in that you're studying in the Netherlands, which I'm not even sure, I might or might not have said it, but which is, well, I've never known any person to study from Ireland in the Netherlands. So say, so while the lads were filling out COs, and you might have filled out COs as well, like, how did you apply, say, what was the process in the Netherlands?
It's called StudyLink.
StudyLink, okay.
So what it is basically is it's man in the middle. So someone in the Netherlands kind of puts your application forward to the school.
Right.
And
So
stuff
you
like that.
tell them what you want to do basically, is
yeah,
it?
and
then
you
they
give
go
them
and
you give them your documentation,
Oh,
say
that's really-
birth cert,
That's interesting now,
and
yeah.
they send it to the college.
College and then.
Yeah.
And say, had you got feedback then before like were you given like when I was many moons ago when I was in 6th year, I applied through UCAS to the UK, and I think I was given basically if you get these 3 or 4 grades or above, you have the course,
Yeah.
regardless of how everyone else does, which is the opposite, I suppose, to the point system where it's just, and were you given the same, like were you given specific grades that you had to get, or was
Yeah,
it just?
I was given specific